Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Mindful Merchants. You guys know who I am, Cali Reseller Luis. You guys know who this guy is right here, the Lone Star Picker, Louie. And of
Woohoo!
course, today's guest, we have Deena, the Thrifty Junker in the house.
She is
Hello.
here. Everybody, welcome Deena. Let's do it. Let's give a little cowbell in
Little
there.
cowbell.
More
Yeah.
Welcome,
cowbell.
Deena.
Thank you for being here. Just a little public service announcement. We're going to cut this one a little short today because, in case you don't know, Miss Deena and none other than one of our first folks here, and I'm going to start putting them in. You could say hi, Luis. Is
Yeah.
this guy? They're going to do a bingo right
Hey,
after a
Johnny.
show, just like clockwork, right?
Yeah, so make sure you guys head over to Johnny's channel after we're done here with Deena. And you guys will have a great time in bingo. Definitely, you guys check it out.
Tell them a little bit about that while we say hello to people, Deena, if you don't mind.
Sure. So 5 o'clock Eastern time, me and Johnny host bingo, and it's free to play. You drop in your 5 numbers, 1 through 75, and that's your numbers for the night. And you play for prizes, and we have a lot of
Pray
fun.
too. We pray and we play.
pray.
For prize.
We pray sometimes because
Luis prays. I just play. That's so cool. And
some people prayed that their numbers drop. So
Yep.
they get mad at me when I come in there. I'll be like, "Oh man," I'm like, I got to wait for my 7th one to show up. There's only 6 numbers, right, or 5 or 6, whatever it is.
5, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm like, and
Yeah.
they're like, so we got Lucky Charm Wendy. Hello.
Hello, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
She says, "Hi, friends. What's up?" That's what she's saying right now. There's Mr. John, and look who's here. Our beautiful, on time,
Yes,
moderator. She is here.
Hello, Jennifer.
Isn't that great of her? She comes in, swoops in with all that information, and doesn't even ask for anything. She's a lovely lady. Guys, help her out and give her some watch hours to Jennifer. Oh, who do we have, Luis?
Hello, Christy. How you doing? Mom's Closet from Texas.
Oh, they're from
Christy.
Texas.
Yeah. Hello, Christy. How you doing? Welcome.
Oh.
She said, "I love these afternoon lives."
Oh, I'm glad she enjoys that.
Thank you. Hello, Adam. How you doing? Welcome.
Oh, and there she goes. Don't make me sing that song again.
Hello, Ella. How you doing? Welcome. Always good to see you.
It is always. And there he is. None other than.
Who's Tom Cruise? What's up, brother?
Here we got him. He's here. We just said hi to him too. Let me make sure real quick. Okay, guys, get ready because I may need to do a quick mute. Let's see if oh, it's on mute. I'm good. I'm saved. I don't know. Some days it's like I'll click on it real quick and then it's like blah, blah, and then
starts echoing all over the place.
You ever do that, Deena, when you go online?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
like,
Well, in bingo, I have to have. So if you see me look over here, it's because I have an extra screen, and so I have to have like 3 screens plus my phone going. And so I'm like trying to do all 3 without making any noise. And yeah.
Seriously. Oh, we got one more. She snuck in the back door. Here.
Hello, Missy. How you doing?
Good
to see you.
Missy. And I understood not too long ago. I've always said nicety, and then sometimes I'd say nice tea, but I think it's more like nice tea. But we call her Missy. Missy Nice Tea. She's awesome. And she was on Johnny's channel. I think it was one morning. Yeah. She is quite the personality. We're going to get her on here one day. I'm not sure when. It may be October or so, depending on our booking. So we thank you for being here, Miss Deena. We're happy that you're here. We're glad you're getting well. We're going to leave it at that, and you can talk about it when you're ready. Sure. We understood you were a little under the weather. Was it a little? Not too long back. So we're glad you're here now. And I'm sure you're not 100%, but thank you. We'll just make this as easy as possible. And wanted to ask you and start off with a question. When did you start your YouTube journey?
I started February 1st of this year.
So still relatively new, but you're really familiar in the community. It seems like you've been here since last year. I mean, you probably were all along. I mean, but as far as starting content creation, you solidified it by February, correct?
Yeah, I started watching YouTube about this time last year.
Okay.
Because that's when I started reselling again. Because of COVID, I wasn't able to work because what I do for a living, we go into corporations and we screen their employees for their wellness. And so they weren't having anybody come in, and a lot of them were working from home. And so I basically lost my job.
Mm-hmm.
And
did
so,
you have one of those little thermometer things where you had to go through, or that wasn't your?
No, that wasn't my thing. But so that's when I started reselling, and I started purging my own house. And I'm like, I've got all this crap here that I've not used or touched in years. So I started selling stuff. And I've always been a thrifter, but I started going to the thrift stores when they opened back up because I knew that I was finding stuff that I could resell. I knew there was stuff that was worth a little bit more than what they were selling it for.
So you're cognizant, you're watching other YouTubers.
So that's when I started watching YouTube to get back in. Like I'd sold years ago on eBay. And I wanted something easy. And I started on Mercari this time. I started Mercari first because I wanted to kind of ease back into it, learn the shipping again, do everything before I jumped back into eBay, because I knew eBay was a little bit more involved.
Okay.
And so I started watching YouTube because if I wanted to make sure I was shipping the best way and the least cost way. And so I started watching Lindy Glenn. And then, of course, everybody, other people started popping up in my YouTube. And so I started watching Part-Time Picker and Harry Tornado. And then I'm like, I need to be doing more of this. And so,
this is incredible, Luis. I went on her channel last night. She's, carrying on an interview like she's been on The Mindful Merchants 20 times, just chilling, and she's got Harry Humstone, who's he's an OG as far as I'm concerned. Whether he started in just a year or two ago, the guy is smart as can be. I can't believe we haven't gotten him on this show yet. I don't know what the heck's wrong with that. He's probably like this, the heck with you guys. But all of a sudden, you just get people walking into your room like, the small guy. What's his name?
Cincinnati Picker
walks in, and really good. So we know that. I think this year you guys went to this thing called the Showboat Reseller Showboat,
reseller rally,
rally, and so that's so good. Well, that's good. You picked a platform, you saw the the value and what was going to work for you, be it Mercari or whatever, as opposed to, like you said, eBay, for example. But you did it. Once you got into those thrift stores, what was your big first, like, oh crap, this is what I want to sell? Stuff like, give me a couple.
Well, so what I was purging in my house were things that I had sold previously in my day. So I knew Pampered Chef really good. I knew Creative Memories, which I never sold it, but I used a lot of it, and that's like scrapbooking stuff. And I knew Longaberger. Longaberger, if you don't know, is baskets and pottery and stuff like that. So those are the three things that I was kind of looking for.
You were on it. You're like,
I was,
why aren't people selling this?
And so then when I started watching YouTube and all the other things that people were buying and reselling, that's when I started expanding. And basically, because I could go into a Goodwill, a thrift store, and not find any of those three things. But there was tons of other stuff that I could, potentially flip. And so that's when I started learning from, all the YouTubers, the things that I could resell.
But at one point you're going to have to come to a thing, Deena, like where, and I'm kind of curious because, like you said, this is since February. Yeah, you've been watching, and I know you said you've been always kind of a thrifter. But when did it really set in? Like, these are my niches. I your confidence level has to kind of go, not in a cocky way, but like, it's good to be confident.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're kind of going, hey, I know this stuff, it's like, and somebody doesn't because it's on the shelf here, and I'm going to triple.
I've sold probably more Pampered Chef than anything.
Say again, more what?
I've Pampered Chef, the kitchen stuff.
Nice. Good.
Because I can spot it, like, because I sold it for years and I know what it looks like and I can spot it right away.
I love it.
And so I've sold most
of it. It feels good because you're like, dang, there's enough room, and there's enough meat on the bone for this. If I buy it for this, cost of good is this and da 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 da. It's a great thing. Hold on one second. We're just gonna say hi. We got Maggie Doodle that popped in here. We did say hi to Adam
Maggie.
earlier.
Hey, Adam.
Reseller Review, right? And who is
Maggie?
Here we go. Oh, and we didn't get to say hi to this person here.
Tyrannical Mystery Covers. Hello.
Hello. Good to see you. And by the way, and just in case you guys, if you're coming in late, make sure to hit Johnny's channel. And Deena's going to be there as usual doing the bingo today. But we're going to cut short a little bit just to give Deena enough time to run over there, fix her hair, and and just.
I should be good with my hair.
I think your hair looks awesome right now. I'll let you borrow one of my wigs if you need it. I'm going to try to get Maggie Doodle on one day. And we're just, this is great. So I was looking on, let me see if I can find it. There was, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Something it took me not too long because my mom, I was peeking in her closet my last visit last month to her house. And on one of your Instagram posts. So by the way, you guys, and for anybody that's new here, shout out to everybody in the live chat. If you don't know Miss Deena, Miss Thrifty Junker, go down below. All her links will be there, her Instagram. If you do have additional links, like if you have another channel, just remind me because I get so bogged down. I have like 20 channels more to add for Johnny because he's got how many. But I noticed, I want to call them buttercream Amish. They're those Amish Pyrex dishes.
Yeah. See? The Amish butter print,
Yes, the butter print, I always call them buttercream, but butter print. It's just, I remember the first time I was like, let me grab that. One was, it's nostalgic, and of course, the ones I found was the turquoise color ones. And I remember telling a couple folks, this guy named Sumo Wrestler, Marcus, and a couple other people like, why, come on. And they looked at the prices and they're like, oh crap, I'm going to go look for those. And when you go to an estate sale, they want like almost as much as you can sell them. They put it like a little lower, maybe a quarter lower for the collectors, but they're getting a big chunk of change. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found those on Facebook Marketplace. Every night I will lay in bed.
You have your list?
Oh no, I just lay in bed and I look through Marketplace, like what's the new listings in Marketplace, and I look under local, and this guy.
Oh, you go by new. Okay.
New listings, and so because I'm looking almost every day, and so this guy had him titled as antique bakeware. Didn't have Pyrex in the description at all. So somebody was searching Pyrex, they weren't going to find it.
Right.
It was just antique bakeware.
I mean, maybe they would have found it, but not like you were there and you're
well,
like, hey,
I just seen a picture and I'm like, holy crap. And so I looked it up and I was like, okay, now it was 45 minutes away from where I was. Yeah. So the first set he wanted $30 for. Okay. And I tried to there were, how many pieces were there? There was
three or four something.
There was five pieces, I think, with lids, I think. And so so I was like, okay. I was like, would you take 25? And he was not budging. He was like, why? It's only $5. And I was like,
oh, one of those.
I was like, because I'm driving 45 minutes, dude. Because I'm not near you.
You want to meet me halfway?
Yeah. And so he's like, well, I priced him to sell, not to negotiate. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay.
Yeah, but you know what? You have to ask, right? So for the newbies that are, anybody that's listening or watching this that happens to be a new reseller, don't ever not ask. The worst they're going to say is, no. And you don't. And we learn as a business person, do you take it personal? Hell no. It's like, no.
So I went and I got those, and I'd asked him. Well, I met his son because apparently he wasn't much of a salesperson. He wasn't dealing with me. So I met his son at their house or whatever. And I had asked him, I said, do you have any more? I asked the dad and never responded to me. The next day, the son messages me and says, hey, I found 2 more pieces. Nice. You want them? And sent me pictures. And I said, how much you asking for it? He said, well, I was going to list them for 30, but I'll give them to you for 20. And I was like, sold. I'll be out there. And then he when I got there, he's like, do you have a dish that fits this lid? I said, oh, probably. So
You're like, yes, I do.
He gave me the lid for free. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, but that's
yeah.
that's highly sought after, believe it or not, whether it's the bottom or the tops of these
Oh,
lids.
yeah.
Those things, people will crack one. And
Yep.
what happens, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I learned actually Roy just came in here. Hi, Roy, and everybody else in Fundamentals Side Hustling. Derek's here.
Hey,
But
Derek.
Roy and Kim from a.k.a. Treasures, and you guys, if you don't know them, follow their channel. I mean, they're doing successful, and he's probably one of the more brilliant guys. When he was like on his low numbers, probably just reaching 1,000 or something, he was like telling all of us, go get the Corningware tops. Go, if you get them for a nickel or quarter, grab them no matter what, because break even if it's only $3, $5. But I mean, you go in, you can get like $20, and you pay like $1 for one. And he was the one on that. But like yours is a specific one we're talking about today, you guys. I'm here with Deena and my boy here, Luis. We're talking about reselling, just all the 101, guerrilla warfare. Get in there, go and sneak in there, stay up late at night like Deena and go, oh crap, because if you don't know about, I always say Amish, but it's Amish, whatever, potato, but it's I would say buttercream, but he says butterprint. Yeah. But the salmon color, tell them about, isn't the salmon color is even
that's even more sought after.
Oh my gosh.
Like I that's the first Pyrex that I've picked up. And
the salmon color one?
No, I haven't found any salmon, but I'm not real familiar with it. But I for some reason I knew that one was worth some money, and so it's just a matter of learning everything.
It is, and it's also just being able to like. But I think it's like learning new things, but it's also learning how to source that stuff. Luis and I talk about like use a misspelled word. Just put bakingware instead of Pyrex Amish, and then butter, butter or whatever print. Because if and then also more importantly, do what you did, Deena. You were there. You were like, I'm gonna, you can just shut your phone off, but you peeked real quick, and you found it. I mean, it must have tripped you. What would you like your I guess like what was your return on investment? Like, was it pretty good?
So I paid $50 for all the pieces. I've still got 2 more to sell. I've already made over $50 in profit from it so far, and I've still got the other 2 pieces. Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Woo! We got Bobby. He was one of our previous mindful merchants.
Hey, Bobby.
Like I said, a.k.a. Treasures. You guys go check them out. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And Rosilla was here earlier. There is Dayton Valley Dills. That's it. And here's a nice family channel that I love watching Bama picking, and especially, we're going to get him on there one day too. Him and his children, I believe mostly one of his younger sons. Sometimes his other son will come on there too, and the whole family. They are delightful and clean content, and I appreciate that about them. So thanks for being here today. Deena, we want to ask you a question. How did you get started? Like, what made you want to go, I'm going to start talking to people like last night you had Harry Humstone on last night. Great interview, by the way. And that was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, God had put it on my heart to, because Johnny helped so many people grow their channel, and he's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing, because I went into his morning show, and they encouraged me to put out my first video. And so once I did, I was kind of hooked. And so it had been put on my heart to help women and smaller channels to grow, just like Johnny does. And so I started doing some interviews with women, because sometimes there's women that don't feel comfortable being on a man's channel, or and so I wanted to make a safe place for them to come and to get to know them and to know what they know about their business and their niche and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what I started doing. And then I started finding just smaller channels that needed a boost. And so I started interviewing the smaller channels and basically kind of guided them in the way of going to Johnny's show and all the shows to, meet more people and stuff like that. And so yeah, that's what I did.
Well, thank
and
you.
then occasionally I'll have somebody like Harry or Angie or somebody who, is the larger channel. And so, yeah, it's just fun.
It is. It is fun, as long as I think some of us can take it really serious, but also some. I'm not saying any names, and I'm not even saying that I really know anybody does, but I've been on other content creators, and sometimes it can look like the boys club, and it can get a little toxic in there, and it can be even just like you said, it's not inviting. And I don't want to make this a sexist thing, like about guys versus girls.
Yeah. And it's not a sexist thing to me either, because obviously I've had guys on my channel. Yeah. It's just I know as a woman sometimes it's intimidating to be on a channel, especially if it's with somebody who isn't who jokes around a lot and
but also takes it to another extreme where they're not being mindful, and then they end up saying things that are like, really, did you mean to go there? And it's one thing to trip up and maybe cuss in front of somebody who's like, I don't like cussing at all. I know it's like a lack of a better example, but when you talked about toxicity in like just having a safe space, like who do I feel comfortable with? And it's not like a preference, whether race or whatever, religion, or just like I said, sexist thing. But I think you got to kind of be in a community where like, okay, and like today, like we're glad you're here, and we're happy that you felt comfortable to kind of come on, hang out with us. Couple dorky dudes that we love doing what we do, but we do it in our way. Luis is like, speak for yourself, I'm not a dork.
Well, Luis, and even when I decided to reveal what I was doing, I got attacked on a show about what I was doing, and it was uncalled for. It wasn't right. And
hopefully
so
it was confronted, and that you got in front of the cart, so to speak. You know what I mean? Where like it's like eventually it's been talked about, like, hey, we don't do this.
So,
and hopefully people backed you up.
I had some people back me up, and then I had some people that supported this person and no longer talk to me. So, but it's okay.
We can't be for everybody. We can only be for who we are.
I mean, and it's my channel. So why shouldn't I be able to do what I want to do?
Exactly.
And maybe Luis will carry on with that topic or something like that. But real quick, I want to say hi to a couple more people that popped in. And she's like, I don't remember Lone Star's first name. That's okay. I'm Louie. By the way, I'm Louie, Lone Star Picker. And of course, over here, if you guys don't know, you best to believe it. That's Luis. That's Cali Reseller Luis. And down below, who is this? This is Miss Deena. And all her links are down below. And we want to say hi to Regina. She just popped in. Thank you, Regina.
Hi, Regina.
Hello, Regina.
Mom's Closet. We just said hi to Christy a little while ago. Oh, this thing's jumping. I got to go back. And okay. And Tyrannical, we said hello, but we didn't say hi to Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing, buddy?
Jeff, you've been on Jeff's before. Speaking of like, being in a safe space, I love the space that you created. Mostly, I think it's on your channel. Maybe it jumps from time to time. But you had three others, so a total of 4. That's with yourself included. 3 others. Last week we had none other than one of your co-hosts of this kind of a get-together listing thing you guys do. Mention the other 3, if you would, please.
Sure. So Andy, who is Resell Chick. Yep. And then Kayla, Treasures Noir, and Miss Taffy, when she can come. It's not always the same people. If Miss Taffy can't come or Kayla can't come, then I try to invite some other people on there just to have fun and list and
very much so. Very much so.
And that's on Thursday nights. We try to do it around 9 or 9:30, depending on what's going on, who has what going on.
And I think it's come to a point where, like, it's just so hard where, You know, Luis and I don't know how we've done it. We're like up to, what is this? I don't even remember what your episode says, but it's like 30 something, 40 something.
Yeah.
We're like, you know, you're the 46th guest, and it's like we've only missed twice since we started. Only twice. One because it was freezing here and I had no internet, and Luis was like, it was supposed to be in your channel. We'll just skip it, and we, you know. And you know, it's hard, but like that's good that you did that, and it was great to see their personalities. I was vaguely familiar with Taffy, and seeing her, and you guys are all Wonder Women. Let me tell you, you guys, you know, it's like you guys bring a different, you know, perspective. Like I'm more resourceful in this. This is my knowledge in this, and this. But you guys had a really good chemistry. You made it fun.
Yeah,
you guys just it wasn't about posturing, if I can use that word, because like, you know, sometimes you're in front of a different type of person and you find yourself kind of acting in a certain way, you know. It's like whether it's a lady with a guy or, you know, somebody with a different, you know, nationality or something. You're kind of like, you know, how do I? It doesn't matter because you guys are all together. You're chit chatting, but your banter was really good. I love it. You know, it's like, and it's hard to do a listing, you know, sometimes, you know, because we were talking about this. I don't know if it was with you or one of your co-hosts. Being the person that is hosting it, you're responsible for kind of getting to greet everybody, and that's hard.
Yeah. So I had to learn to get a lot of drafts done, and all my pictures done at least before the show, because otherwise, nobody would be talking to the chat really.
Smart.
So I had to kind of do it a little bit differently, but
No, but let's talk about that a little bit, because anybody that wants to get into, we talk about the two legs of being a reseller and a content creator, whether you're doing it as a form of entertainment. You know, once you become bigger, are you really needing the money, or is it about that, or is it about you want to help and educate people and be informative, you know? But if you're going to be on a live, that's a couple of hats, you know, to be wearing, and, you know, plates to be shuffling and whatnot. So
definitely
that's a smart move, you know, as a reseller. Well, I want to resell, but I want to get on here and talk to people, but you want to learn too, right?
Yeah. And it's fun to work with people, to get people's opinions on stuff. And I've worked with people, even just not even on a live, in a StreamYard, a private StreamYard, and we'll have a group of people working, or you know, I'll have one or two people working, and it's just fun to chit chat back and forth. It's like coworkers, and so you can kind of throw things off of each other, and what do you think about this, and look at this, and
and if you got somebody that you really, like you said, you feel in a safe space and you're comfortable, they also won't BS you. They go, no, I disagree with that. And this is why my experience with you, oh, really? I didn't think about that. I don't want to. Now you start to question things. You know what I mean? Instead of like, as sometimes as new resellers arbitrarily will jump into something and just buy something like, oh, that looks so cool. Or whether they like it or they think that's the same thing somebody else bought, but it's not, you know? And so, you know, it's doing the homework. Roy,
and we push each other. We push, you know, we encourage each other to list, you know, how many you got done, you know, how many, and that's what's kept me motivated, is having someone to list with, or to push me to do my listings or to not source when I don't need to be sourcing, or, you know, things like that. So,
I mean, that's kind of a form of learning if you think about it, because if you hold yourself accountable and you're like, you know, I'm kind of, I'll think no, because then you don't know how far you can be pushed in a good way, you know, in a comfortable way. We're like, you're not going to do anything today? Like, okay. You know, don't complain about money down the line.
Exactly.
Hey, Luis, what do you got for Miss Deena? I'm sure you got a little trick question up your sleeve here.
Nah, no trick question. Nah, not trick question. No, like I said, you know, she's, you know, I connected with her a while back, and I've been to her lives and everything. And she's doing everything that, you know, a reseller does. And she has her little twist to it when she does her, you know, her lives and stuff. And, you know, and I applaud that for her. And I know she was talking about what happened earlier when someone kind of attacked her and all that. And my opinion on that, that's just wrong on all levels. You know, we're all adults and we all need to respect each other. We need to start supporting each other and start stepping on each other. And a lot of people do not understand that. I see everyone in the reseller community has brothers and sisters, and you guys just know I've always preached that.
Yes.
So to me, when I hear stuff like that, it just, there's no room for it pretty much.
Yeah.
We're all here trying to make a living. We're trying to do our best to better ourselves and our families. So let's support each other. Just not step all over each other. The stronger we are together, it's better.
It's like, we don't, it's just so hard. It's like you want to be a part, and it's sad because I think you and I have talked about this, Luis. Everybody mentions it. There's enough stuff out there. Like I have the same dilemma, and I have the same dialogue with people in real life. Like whether it's the Goodwill bins or not, and there's these people that are so highly competitive. And I mean, in a bullying kind of way, where like they'll use elbows, and there's they'll cuss you out. They'll even go so far as to try to steal stuff out of your car. It's like really, and it's like okay, and it's like I think. In that terms of that, there's enough to go around for everybody. Be respectful. And I think what Luis said is like, I'm going to go so far as to say, if you can't be respectful, you have no business being here, because that is not a mindful procedure and a way to, act, with other people. Because I mean, we're on YouTube. We have enough room for everybody. You want to do this type of format of a content creation, do it. But, I mean, and granted, sometimes we step on each other's toes with time, but can you do it at a different time? Can you do it in a way that's like not pressuring somebody else and being rude and, being cliquey or something like that? But and, granted, not everybody's going to be for everybody, it is what it is. So what is, Luis, so thanks, Luis, for bringing that up. So did you have any comments on that? We know you're a Wonder Woman, so. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, Resale Dojo just popped in. We got a few more people. Jesse Shops, thank you for showing up.
Jesse.
Saw you earlier.
Oh, Jesse.
You for being here. We I think it was on a live that she was on earlier, and thank you for showing up here. And what do you say? Yes, I love that. Thank you, Roy, for saying that. Right on. Be other sisters and reselling brothers and sisters. We all got to support each other. What would you tell a new reseller or somebody that maybe wants to get in content creation and maybe do both eventually, or are not sure about it because they see this kind of exuding behavior, and it can also go to the opposite, like somebody's overly nice to you and then they stop talking and you think, oh, they're being rude. No, but also, or just the bullying behavior. What would you tell anybody that's starting to come into new lives and they reach out to you and like, yeah, I'm too shy, I don't want to get involved,
They have to do it they have to enjoy it. They have to do it for themselves. Because you guys know, once you get monetized, you're not making a lot of money. If you're doing it for the money, it takes a lot to make decent money.
Unless you're like highly organized and you got those methodical skills of just like, and then you get up to like tens of thousands. That's kind of nice, but you earned it because you worked hard.
Yeah. If you're doing it, if you're reselling for the extra money, your reselling is going to pay you far sooner than your content creation. And so that's why I've taken a step back a little bit on creating content, because I need to be bringing in money and listing more and working on my business rather than, putting that time into content creation. And so that's what I've been trying to do a little bit more. You just got to enjoy it, and you've got to protect yourself
and hang out with people that you enjoy. Otherwise, like you wouldn't do like the Thursday night thing you do with Miss Taffy or the rest, and it's like you just gotta have fun. It is. Hi, Miss Taffy, thank you for jumping in here. We got so many people. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Luis, do you have any other questions for Miss Deena or anything that about what she's been up to?
No, I just think that she's doing a wonderful job with her channel and doing what she's doing with the reselling and stuff. And I wish her, much success. And hopefully she keeps growing her channel, because I would like to see her, just like everyone else, grow their channels and just keep, doing a great job of what they're doing, and that's what we got to do. We got to support each other. And like I said, she's doing a wonderful job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
as always, she's great. How was last night's talk with Harry Humstone?
It was fun. I don't know why. Like Harry, at one point, I came into his chat and he's like, yeah, I've been watching your stuff, and then he would come into my shows and stuff, and we had kind of bantered back and forth about having him on a while back, and finally just asked him this week and said, hey, if you're not busy, and so
Harry's
it was
like
fun.
that. Like he'll come into our Luis's auctions and stuff, and once in a while he'll even pop in here, providing time. It's just it's great when you get in that realm. Real quick, there was a quote I forgot to mention because we were on the topic about just having fun and being a good person and whatnot. You posted, I don't even remember when you posted this, but I remember when you did. Oh, it says 4 weeks ago. It's about a little over a month ago. But it said you post, never stop being a good person because of bad people.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's like, just the idea of having room on here. What would you like to see your channel and YouTube grow to become? Like, how would you like? I know that's kind of an awkward question. It could be like in a month, in a couple months, next year, you'd like to start doing this type of content or whatever.
I would love to be more consistent with my my videos. I want to be able to bring more knowledge and not just be oh, this is what I found, this is what I sold. I need to find where where my knowledge can help others. And it's some entertaining, I like to be goofy sometimes. And so I'm still just kind of figuring it out and seeing what's gonna work for me and what I'm gonna enjoy. And within, by the end of the year, I'd like to be pretty consistent with it. And especially through the holidays, I know that's going to be a challenge. This is also my busy time with work in the fall. And so I know it's going to be a struggle to probably keep content coming and do everything I'm doing. So it's just going to be balancing act for the next probably 4 or 5 months. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of balancing act, like we talk a lot about mental well-being, mental strategies. It seems like we kind of touched a little bit on mental strategies, which I think that can still segue into mental well-being, like about getting along with people and how to better thinking processes and arduous ways of doing things. But kind of lost my train of thought there. There was a way I was going to ask you this, but in terms of mental strategies, what would you give? Let me start off with this. Luis usually asks this towards the end because we're getting kind of close. And then I want to go back to mental well-being and or just well-being, not even mental well-being, which it can affect. But like in terms of mental strategies of like how to be a better reseller, what would you give a new reseller here? Because we're gonna get close. And I know, by the way, if you guys don't know, shout out to everybody in the live chat. We got Bingo next. Deena's gonna go on to Johnny's channel in a little bit.
Yeah.
There's something that Johnny posted in the chat, Louie, that you should put up.
Let me go back
before we let Deena answer that.
Yep. Is this the one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and they're for everybody that's needed. So, yeah, most definitely. It seems like it's kind of an awkward, maybe even it's hard for us that we do care about these things, but to have to feel the need to talk about this, it's just, I think it's imperative because I don't know. It just seems like lately I'll get a couple messages, somebody will go, did you see what happened? Or did you hear? And I'm like, I'll be honest. I tune out negativity.
Yeah.
Like I will tell you this. I look like I'm a gopher looking for a hole. I mean, I don't want to deal with it. I've learned, I've already probably blocked 2 or 3 dozens of people. And it's so nice because I don't have to think about them. I don't have to give them a time of day. I don't have time for that. And also, even if I do stay connected in some level or another with that person, I don't have to participate in, a negative quandary of like, just being subjected to like, because we all know one thing, negative energy does what? It just sucks the life out of us.
It
How can you
does.
be a productive reseller? How can you be a
Mhm.
productive YouTuber or Instagrammer?
Yeah.
So back to you're saying, thanks for posting it. Never stop being a good person,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, it doesn't take any more effort to be a good person than to be a bad person. So why
Yeah.
not just, my whole thing is, the people that constantly banter and put people down, I think that's what's most aggravating, because even though they think it's a joke, people take that stuff to heart. And
Yeah.
you don't know what people are dealing with mentally in their life. And so one little thing can just set them into a tailspin.
Yeah.
And I know because it's happened to me.
Yeah.
And so, you have to kind of get a tough exterior sometimes, but it sucks that you have to.
Yeah, but you can do like a duck and just let the water flow off your feather and just
Yeah.
swim as
Yeah.
fast as you can to the other side of the pond and skedaddle.
Yeah.
Because it can go both ways. Like you said, you don't know if one thing you say and it trips that person off, and they're the person that's going to be like, full of just this visceral. And that's what I mean by that toxicity of just negative attitude. Sometimes I've learned, I just, when they are fishing for information and that this person is going to be negative, I always put the form of the question of like, I don't know. I wonder. Never answer their question, but leave it where like you're just not interested in participating. And remembering, if you get somebody that attacks you or whatever, in an email form, document it, just keep it there. But also, you don't have to reply, and it's the lovely thing about that. Speaking of well-being, and not just mental well-being, which kind of what we just touched upon it, because we're getting really close to, I think, the 5-minute mark, right, Luis?
Yeah.
And just a few more minutes. We want to get you in there. We understood you were ill a little while ago. We wish you, speedier recovery. I know it still sometimes just takes time. Take your rest, do your best. What would you recommend to anybody in the community, seasoned, new, not just starting, whatever, about taking care of themselves in general?
Yeah. So just, I know a lot of people know I had COVID. And I kind of had a feeling I had COVID a couple days before I got tested. And I was supposed to actually go to the 127 and meet a bunch of the resellers. And I didn't want to go feeling sick. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't exposing anybody. And so I did come up positive. For the first week, I didn't do much but try to rest and try to get over it. And then I started feeling guilty about my business, which, is a good thing and a bad thing, because I didn't have the energy to list anything, but I still wanted to be active in my business. I still had sales that were coming in, which was fantastic because I wasn't able to work. I had to take off of work. And I lost a lot of money taken off of work. And so I still
have like a job aside from your reselling work.
Yeah. And so I was able to at least go and package my stuff. I would package my stuff. What I would do is I would leave my room. My husband was upstairs. I was downstairs. I would leave my room with my mask, go down to the basement, package all my stuff with a mask, with clean hands and everything. I would take it upstairs, sit it in quarantine for 24 hours, and then I would have the post office pick it up for me. I would schedule a pickup. And then what I did was, and I'm going to make a video about this, but I went in and refreshed all of my stagnant sales that were getting ready to renew. I went down, I took them down, I relisted them. And so it looked like I was still very active in my store. And I would do an all item reset almost every day. I tried to, and so it still looked like I was very active in my store. And then when I felt up to it, I actually brought a sheet upstairs and started photographing just small things like some My Little Ponies. I was brushing hair while I was laying in the bed.
You felt your comfort level and just kind of eased back into it.
Yeah. I mean, because there was times when I would do too much and then I would be tired. But I would do little things that I knew I could do laying in bed, like brushing their hair and I started listing. I was cleaning some remotes, and I listed some remotes. Small things that I could do to keep active in my store. And so
good deal.
Continued.
Good deal.
I had sales almost every day the 2 weeks I was sick. And they were helpful because I was losing all that money from being sick. So
you guys, point taken. Don't push yourself. Do rest. But as resellers, we never stop. Sometimes it's actually 6 and 7 days a week. Do take time to rest.
But as far as health wise, please, guys, make sure you are taking vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc. Is going to help your body to heal.
Eat right, exercise.
Yes, try to eat right, try to exercise, make sure you're getting plenty of fluids. And this is even if you don't have COVID, because they are saying that vitamin D and the lack of can cause you to be worse.
Especially, don't forget those that are, and there we've had a few in our community of. And by the way, we're really cutting it short here, so we're gonna stop you in a minute. But there has been a couple of resellers in our community who have actually been content creators that passed away. And God rest their soul. So take these things light. We're gonna have you come back on another day. We know it's cutting short, but I don't know if you saw this. People are screaming at you right now, like, "Hey, Deena!"
Yes, I know, Myra.
Bama Pickin had to run out.
But also, please wear your masks. I know they suck, but please.
Or at least for respect to other people and the immune compromised. Remember, there are people that are immune compromised.
Because I was contagious 2 days before I had symptoms, and I exposed people at church. I exposed people that I didn't know, and I know they suck, but please.
And those are people you love and you come to know, and we don't want to hurt anybody else. And whether we're not trying to make this political, but it is scientific, and so do what we can as resellers, but also.
And if you're sick, please stay home or please get tested, because I was just called today that I was exposed again, and I'm like, well. Guess what? I have the antibodies now, so it's like
but remember, we can be asymptomatic and still carry it and give it to the people. So, Deena, we thank you for being here. And
thank you, Deena,
I know Johnny's gonna be like, "Come on, guys." But thank you, and everybody that's joined us. We have, it looks like, over 30-something people here today.
That's
we
awesome.
almost pushing up to 40. We were trying to. We enjoyed having you. One day we'll have to carry this conversation. We would, I think, Luis and I would love to come visit your channel one day.
Hey, that'd be awesome.
You're always welcome to have us on, and we got plenty to promote.
We're gonna give Luis though his own night because he never gets to talk.
Yep.
He chooses, and he goes by Luis. I'm Louie, but Luis. Yeah, he goes
Luis. I'm sorry.
I'm used to it. No worries. And people say I talk too much.
Oh, right.
He's on the he's in the chat and everything. And boy, let me tell you, he found when we had questions here. I couldn't do this show without him. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been the Mindful Merchants. This is Monday, and thank you, Deena. And you guys, if you don't know her, follow those links down below. If you don't know, this is Cali Reseller Luis. Tomorrow night, he's got a fire auction. If you guys don't know it, we're going to have Tom Cruise and we're going to have Westside Gary. The three of them are going to do that. I'm taking a night off, and we appreciate, everything. Did you freeze, Deena?
No.
No,
she's
dropping numbers.
All right.
I dropped the link down below, guys, for Johnny's bingo. Make sure you guys head over there.
Come and play.
All right, guys, have a good day. I'll see you guys over at bingo.
Bye.
All right, take care. Thank you.